All right. Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your boy, Young the Poet. And as you all know, it's been playing for like a whole week. So I'm looking forward to having all of my people here and understand what's really been going on. So this topic, somebody needs to talk to him. I picked that topic because it's a universal topic. A lot of things go on with the guys, a lot of things go on with the females, but I picked that topic in general because it's a universal topic. So before I go into it, anything that I have to say about this particular topic is not just about the fellas. Everything is universal. Everything happens both ways. There's always two sides to a story. So anything too that I'm talking about tonight is also the things that I have myself personally, or I know of these experiences. So you definitely get everything in the raw. So check it. One of the first things that I want to kind of like touch bases on is, how do we know that we're actually picking the right person when it comes to a relationship? And everybody who knows me, you know I'm a romantic type of guy. I'm into the whole love scene and things of that nature. But how do we know we're picking the right type of people when we first meet somebody? You think about it. When you first meet somebody, you're usually at your best. Like when you see somebody, you see this fine lady or this guy that you find attractive or whatever, you're usually at your best. Like, man, oh my goodness, how can I, get this person's phone number? How can I get into this relationship with this person? But you're so focused on what it is that you want. Sometimes, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but sometimes we're not thinking about the things that we need. Think about those past relationships that you had that didn't go so well, and now you're looking to approach a different person. So instead of being more focused on how I can get into this relationship, how about being focused on who this person is, what this person has to offer upstairs, and what's in this person's heart? Because just as you have gone through things throughout your life and all of the years that you have lived, same goes with this other person that you're meeting. They're going through things too. It doesn't mean that everybody goes through something bad, but it does mean that everybody in general goes through things. So before you get into that and knee deep into that, then think about how you want to approach this person. Do you really want to get into this relationship, or do you really want to understand the person that you are attracted to? And I think that understanding is the key thing. That's the first thing that we should actually think about when we're talking to people, is getting to understand those people. So I'll give you an example. For me, okay, I'm in a relationship, and before I met the lady that I'm with now, I was with somebody else, and things were kind of rocky. It was not a good relationship. So I felt like mentally I was ready to go, and physically I was ready to go. But if you don't have those two things intact, then you still feel some sense of attachment to that other person. So why bother going and get into a relationship with somebody else when you have that sense of attachment? So this is important. You have to make sure that you're really, really ready to go, because you don't want to keep jumping out and in and jumping back and forth into this relationship when you know that for yourself that, man, this is not healthy for me, but yet some reason I still find myself attracted to this person. So think about those things before you decide to let go of this other person, because if you don't think about those things, if those things are not a factor to you and they're not in the forefront, then you'll find yourself on a roller coaster. You'd be like that hamster in the wheel, constantly running, making the wheel go faster, but you're actually going nowhere. And who needs that? Who in this world needs that? I don't know anybody who actually wants to deal with those types of things. What would you say? You know what I'm saying? So another thing too is this: how we approach people is important. So for me, think about it like this. Let's say you're outside, right? You're on this beach. It's sunny outside, nice outside, got this little light breeze going. You can see the waves in the water and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? You see these things. And you see how everybody is dressed. You see the type of environment, everything's look peaceful, everybody look like they're having fun, everything look like it's just going well. Like this is a wonderful day. So as you're skimming the surface, skimming the area, you know, looking around and seeing what's going on in the area, you approach, you see someone that you find attractive and you feel like you want to get to know this person. All right. So how do you approach this person? Are you gonna walk up? Yo, shawty, hey, check it out, shawty. Shawty, hey, check it out. Boy, oh yeah, come holler at me, come holler at me. For me, heck no, that would never happen. But for me, I feel like if I'm gonna approach anybody, if I'm gonna approach this woman, I'm gonna be like, this is a beautiful scene that nature has painted for us today. What you think? Now, at first, she may be like, why would you even say something like that? What do you mean? What does that even mean? And just as I explained, the sand is looking nice. People outside look like they're having fun. Everybody got on there either bikini shorts, no shirt, walking around with your muscles showing, whatever. And the water, nice and wavy. So I'm going to describe that scene and then ask, what do you think about that scene? Now, because women are intrigued by creativity, being 100 and coming without trying to run game, a lot of times that's going to lead into another conversation. So your approach, not only to the opposite sex or however you choose to, live your life, your approach is very important. How do you approach? You know what I'm saying? How do you approach people? So if you don't have a way that you approach people that's not offensive or anything of that particular nature, then you need to change it. You need to step back and look at yourself and say, hey, what am I doing that's causing me to have these different types of reactions that's coming my way? So yeah, that's another thing too called cause and effect. So if we're not looking at ourselves for every decision that we've made in our lives, like for example, the decision that you had for that past relationship or those past relationships, you know what I'm saying? You can't just blame that person. You also got to blame yourself because you agreed to be a part of that relationship. So if you agree to be a part of the relationship, then guess what? A lot of that blame falls on you too because you are your own decision maker. And that's important. That's very important. So going back, whatever approach you take, you always want to be mindful that you will want someone to approach you the same way. You will want someone to be creative. You will want someone to be nice. You will want someone to be respectful and things of that nature that would feel appealing or something that would make you feel comfortable when that approach is happening. You know what I'm saying? You don't want people walking up to you, oh, shout, hey, check that out. I mean, that brings about another thing, and it's called acceptance. What are you willing to accept when it comes to the approach? When it comes to the people coming to you or coming in your direction, what are you willing to accept? A lot of people nowadays, and I can only speak on what I saw, a lot of the young ladies nowadays, somebody walking up to you, to my yo, what's up, shawty? Hey, mom, check this out. Yo, yo, yo. They're accepting of these things. And if that's something that you're willing to accept, then don't get angry if things start to go bad, because you have to understand what you allow in your personal space, that's what's going to stay. And in some instances, you have some people that are willing to change and willing to change their ways for you. But how do you know that in the beginning, this is the type of person that you're dealing with? You don't. You don't know that, because on the average, just like one of the comedians stated, you're meeting that person's representative just like you're giving this person your representative. And that representative is only going to last for so long. It is. That's just the truth. It's only going to last for so long. So instead of taking those types of approaches or accepting those types of approaches, why not just keep it 100 in the beginning? That way, there's no reason, there's no excuses, there's no later on down the line, I'm going to be this person, and then tomorrow will be that person, then next week will be this person, then a month later I'll be that person. It won't be any of that. You eliminate those things in the door. Now, another thing too that you need to think about is, what about the fact that when you talk to this person and you are holding a conversation with this person, and there are some key factors that remind you of someone who you were previously with? All day long, I don't know about you, but the flag is going up for me. The flags are going up. And I'm telling you, right there at that particular point is the point where it may actually be time for me to back up. But depending on how things are flowing, how the conversation is flowing, and how this person's demeanor and what they're showing me, you can question those things to see if you're still finding yourself attracted to the same type of person. That's important. That's important. Why do we want to keep rolling again? The hamster in the wheel is constantly rolling, going nowhere. Just because you chose a different body doesn't mean that you're not choosing the same type of relationship. And these things are things that a lot of us don't think about in the beginning, but we have to. We have to start thinking about these things, because in order to move forward in life, sometimes you have to change the things that you're doing now in order to move forward. Because if you're not willing to change the things about self and you allow life to make these changes for you, whew, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Life ain't gonna play with you. Life is not gonna play with you. Life is gonna give it to you hardcore. It's gonna give it to you in the raw. I don't know how many people think about karma, because there's good karma and there's bad karma. And when you're putting out good karma is going to come back to you. When you're putting out bad karma is going to come back to you. And historically, as a man, we got a lot of karma coming back to us just off of word vibration alone. Just the things that happened in the past are coming back to haunt us now. And we wasn't even living. We didn't have anything to do with that. But historically, the man has the biggest issue with staying faithful, staying in a relationship, doing what you're supposed to do, abuse. There's so many factors that's fallen into that. It's crazy. I mean, it's too crazy. But why should I have to live as a man that was dictated in the past? I shouldn't have to live and walk in those shoes. I shouldn't have to do that. That shouldn't be a part of me. So another reason why this topic came up, because somebody got to talk to him. Somebody needs to talk to him. So let's be that 100% man today. Let's change these things. Let's change a lot of things. One thing that I can say that has shown to be a bit of a change is the sincerity of the men in today's society. You know, at least when I was growing up, I'll put it that way. The sincerity of the man versus that mentality, that player mentality that they had back in the day, or what they call a player. See, by definition, you can look at player in one way, whereas the female is going to look at player being this whole, and I don't mean oh, and you a little scary punk. You know, I don't mean it that way. I mean when you define the two, you're looking at these males or females that's being hoes, meaning the only thing that you out for is whatever it is that you want from this person. You're not looking for anything long term. And the same could be said about being a player. Only difference is when you being a hoe, the hoe is not telling one person anything different from the rest of the people. Everybody pretty much being told the same thing. You're the only one, you're the only one, you're the only one, you're the only one, you're the only one. But the true definition of really being a player has a similarity to a pimp. And the reason why I say that is because all of your companions or your people who you're dealing with, they all know about each other. That's the true player. You may not be just sleeping with any and everything. You may be extremely picky about who you want to sleep with. Those are the definitions of a true player. Now, the being a hoe and being a pimp, the pimp may or may not sleep with the women that he dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But everybody pretty much has a agenda where they have to come to him and do this, and he wants to be the boss and want to this and overrule that. But the player's not looking to rule them. The player's looking to soothe and comfort and be around each and every one. Now, the reason why I'm defining these things is because the misconceptions in life, just like the misconceptions of every man being the same as the men of the past who have brought these reputations all the way up until today, somewhere, somehow, some way, things have to change. And we have to be the ones to make these changes. And that's real talk. That's 100. So, as a man, I feel like this. I don't feel like I need to be the boss of my relationship. And one of the reasons why I say that is this. There are some things that my lady know how to do that I don't. So how am I going to be the boss of something that she knows how to do when I should be following her lead in order for us both to be successful? And vice versa. If it's something that I know how to do and she doesn't know how to do, then follow my lead so we both can be successful. In other words, in some things, the relationship is 50-50. In other things, you have to be smart and state to yourself that, okay, since you know this better than I do, I'm just gonna follow your lead. That's how you gotta be. You have to be smart about it. This whole thing where a lot of people in general, because I've run across in males and females, where you want to be the dominant one. You want to be the one that controls every single thing or every aspect of the relationship. Those things right there, they mess you up. They mess you up big time. And you're asking for whatever situations, problems, or things of that nature that could occur in something like that. Because think about it. Think about it like this. A lot of times when you're thinking that you're so on top, you got all the control in the world, that same person that you're thinking that you're controlling is out there cheating, sleeping around, or looking for something better. And as soon as opportunity knocks, you're out the door. And why are you out the door? Because you failed to see the relationship between you and this person as either equal or compromise, some shape, form, or fashion in some way. Now, speaking of compromise, one of the things too that we have to understand is in a relationship, there's always going to be some form of compromise. So when you think about that, you think about the fact that, okay, some days like my lady, she might want to play games on the computer or something like that, and may ask that I join her on my computer and play the games. Now, honestly, sometimes I don't feel like I don't want to, but because I have that much respect for my relationship and that much love in my relationship, let me go ahead and play this game for a little while, you know what I'm saying? And have some fun with my lady because it's something that she wanted to do. And if this is a way for us to bond and for us to be together, for us to spend time together, guess what? I'm down for it. Let's make it happen. Because the give and take, it runs both ways. You give a little, you get a little. You give a little, you get a little. Now, I'll tell you some of the other things that I do. And I'm not putting all my personal business out there or anything, but these are just true examples of things that I do to keep a happy relationship. You know? So another thing that I do sometimes, like waking up in the morning. To me, this is important. Waking up in the morning, if she wakes up before I do, which is the majority of the time, she does, depending on what time I have to go to work or whatever. If she gets up before I do, then she'll, go do whatever it is that she got to do. She'll, chill in the living room or whatever. Sometimes she'll just chill in the bedroom. And when I wake up and I see her face. It's like, hey, look at that beautiful lady there. Look at my beautiful lady. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I feel like if I'm giving her all these compliments, and I give her a bunch of compliments every day. If I'm giving her all these compliments, then another man give her these same compliments out there on the street. What does that mean? What does that mean to her when she's already getting this at home? So that brings me to another point because some of the guys get so offended, so angry, so upset. Some of the females do too. When someone is looking at your woman or your man, you get upset when someone is looking at them. Are you serious? Are you serious? How can you get angry or upset about something like that? For me, real talk, I'm gonna let you know. Look all you want to. Enjoy the view. I'm not saying stare. I'm not saying gawk because that's disrespectful. And that's the thing that I'm not gonna have fun with. But if you're looking and you're on the outside and I'm looking and I'm on the inside, who's benefiting more? Exactly my point. It's me. I'm the one that's benefiting more because I'm on the inside. You're looking and wishing you could get on the inside. So, in essence, what reason do I have to hold anything that they call jealousy? What's the point? What is the point of that? There is none. There is no point in jealousy for someone that you already have and someone may want, unless, of course, maybe you're afraid to put in the work to keep what you have, especially if you know this person is a good fit for you. If you're not willing to put in that work to keep what you have, then of course, all the jealousies, all the innuendos, all the fear, all this stuff is going to step in. But again, just like I stated in the beginning, you, everything is about you. Everything's about self. What you did to keep that relationship, what you do to keep that relationship has a bearing on how that relationship will last now. Not later on, now. How will that relationship last now. Now, you have people out here that are not even trying to be in a relationship, and that's fine because this is what makes the world go round. Is everybody is so different. There's diversity. There's different types of people for different things, for different reasons, for different spiritual connections, for different this, different that. It's different, but don't judge the next person for what they do or what they want to do. Be all about you. Be all about what you have to do and be all about the betterment of you. Because I say this too. If you're going to better yourself, it's going to protrude in your aura. It's going to just blossom in your aura. And who in this world can take that from you? Who? Not a soul. There's no one that can take that away from you. So, in essence, every day, I'm always looking for an opportunity to better myself, even when there's nothing going wrong. And for me, the reason why I do that is because I'm always looking for that challenge within myself. I'm always looking for that challenge. I'm challenging myself to be better than the people that I've known in my past. I'm challenging myself to have better communications, better connections, better self-respect, better thoughts, better feelings, just better everything about me so that I can actually be a good fit for the woman that I'm with or for that future woman that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. Now, the beautiful thing about my situation is, and I'm not asking you to believe me, I just need you to understand where I'm coming from. The beautiful thing about my relationship is I've never once, in all the years that we've been together, had an argument. Not once. Yeah. Some people say, oh man, that's impossible. But here's the difference. Because I am one of the soulmates, and yes, we did find out we're soulmates. Because I am one of the soulmates, the difference is that we may not always see eye to eye on things, but instead of turning it into an argument, it turns into a question. And those questions are led by trying to understand one another's point of view. Because when you are led by point of views, then you're led by obtaining more and more and more knowledge about the person that you're with, as well as, and this is the tricky part, as well as learning more things about yourself. Because that right there, when you have a difference between you and another person, those differences can help you to learn things about yourself that you didn't even know. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's a phenomenal thing. It is extremely phenomenal. There's nothing greater than consistently learning more and more and more about things, about self, about life. So I say this too. Somebody needs to tell him. Somebody needs to tell him. So at the end of the day, the things that happen within your relationship, within your life, within your lifestyle, and the things that you go through throughout your entire life, it's all about how you perceive things. It's all about projection, how you put things out there. It's all about what you're willing to accept, reciprocate in your particular life, in your particular lifestyle. You just have to be legit. You have to be 100. Now, understand this too. If you're upfront about wanting multiple relationships, you will be surprised at how many other people are willing to accept that as long as you're upfront about that. You'll be surprised at how many people are willing to accept that. But how do you know if that's something that this person will accept or not accept if you're not putting it in the forefront? So when it's not in the forefront, then what you doing? You're hiding something. You're hiding something that should have been so important in your life that you were willing to share this with the person that you're trying to be with. So if you're not gonna share certain things that are extremely important to know in the beginning of a relationship, then what else are you willing to hide? Because those hidden factors inside of any relationship are the things where problems derive from. And why do they derive from those things? Because you're building up assumptions. Your actions may say one thing, but what's coming out of your mouth is saying something totally different. And when the two conflict, especially for those of us who actually pay attention to things like that, when those two conflict, then you are creating conflict in your relationship. Why is it necessary to create conflict in a relationship? It's not. Don't do these things to yourselves. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Because at the end of the day, the person that loses out, yeah, it's you. It's you. You're the one that loses out. So, how much did it cost you just to tell the truth to this one person? How much did it cost you to tell the truth to one person that you felt like you wanted to be with or spend time with? How much did it cost you? On the average, I would say it don't cost you anything except for a little bit of time. If it's okay to tell the truth all the time, most of the time, majority of the time, or however you see fit, it's okay to tell the truth at least once, then it's okay to tell the truth the rest of the time too. It's not a hard thing to do. It's really not. But some of us make it hard because we refuse to do it. And then you look at circumstances in certain situations and you're like, man, nah, I don't think I could tell her. I don't think I want to tell her about this. I'm going to tell her about this one. Why? Why not? Why not tell it? If you tell her in the beginning or tell him in the beginning that, hey, look, I'm not looking to be tied down right now. I'm looking to have multiple relationships until I can get myself to a point to where I want to be with one person, you eliminated a huge problem. Because a lot of times these problems, when you don't tell somebody, you're looking at it leading into the heartache, deception, looking at trust, you're looking at other people getting involved, family members, parents. You know, it's just so much more to the picture than that small thing that could have taken place in the beginning. The truth. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. It's simple. It is simple as a piece of pie. I can promise you that. It's real simple. But you gotta be willing to do it. It's not hard. Just do it. Just go ahead on and do it. So check this out too. Let's say that you're a couple, right? And this couple been together for a long time. Let's give it a time frame. Let's say 20 years. Let's give it 20 years. So the couple's been together for 20 years. Now, by this time, you should actually know the ins and outs of each other because on an average, it takes anywhere from 6 to 7 years to really get to know the person that you're with. So if you've been together for 20 years, you should really know the ins and outs of one another. It's not always something that happens though, but here's what I'm getting at. After 20 years of being with this person, sometimes the relationship starts to go down. The spice starts to go down. And then before you know it, you all are just on a routine relationship. And boring. Extremely boring. That gets boring. On so many levels, it gets boring. So, some of the things that I do, and I'm only gonna speak from my experiences because I can't speak for everybody. I'm not everybody, I'm only one person. But here we go. Some of the things that I do is I compliment her every day. That's one. Compliments lead to rewards. Now, whatever you are set or whatever type of person you are, that depends on what type of reward you're going to get. So, in my case, I put it like this. When I'm complimenting her every day, I also think about some of the things that I see her doing. So, like for example, and this is true, my lady, she goes in, she cleans up the kitchen every night before she goes to bed. Make sure the kitchen is clean, nice and straight, all the dishes out of the sink, everything. So one night, it's happened more than once, but we only gonna speak on one night. One night, she was too tired to do this. After having a long day, being busy and things like that, she was too tired to do it. She ended up going to bed. She went to bed before me, before I got home from work, everything else. Now, instead of turning this into an argument, turning this into a problem, what I did was I went in there, looked around, see what wasn't done, and I did it for her. So when she wakes up in the morning, she's gonna see, wow, somebody cleaned up the kitchen. She may not know it was me because we got children here too, so she may not know it was me. But pump the brakes. So what? Doesn't matter who did it as long as it got done. But I'm just saying, in a relationship, I'm here to take up that slack. I'm here to help out whenever market banking is down. If there's anything that she doesn't do, I'm going to do it. If there's anything that needs to be done, if I can get it done first, then I'm going to get it done first. It's not about first or last. It's just about compromising, about saving, and about caring, and about respect for the one that I'm with. If we continue to carry these things throughout our entire relationship, you'll be surprised at where they go. So we wake up in the morning and she see that it's been done. She be like, because she know how I clean, so she be like, you cleaned up the kitchen last night? I'll be like, yeah. I figured you was tired, so I just went on and knocked it out. My reward, kiss and a hug. I'm good with that. Hey, I love getting kisses and hugs. That's a beautiful thing to me. So let's say this. I see how she likes to accent things. And by accent, I mean like she likes to put certain things together. Things that I wouldn't think would put together. She'll put like a vase and some flowers with the material or whatever it is on the couch, and all this stuff is cool and looking all good and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I gotta compliment her accent, her creativity. I'm complimenting that. And again, it's like, thank you, baby. You know what I'm saying? There's the reward. So there's so many different things that can be done. Like we have a date night. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take her out, kick it with her. Or I'll see her like sitting down in a chair at the computer or something like that. I just walk up behind her and I just kiss her and hug. Just off of GP. It don't have to be no special occasion. It don't have to be no reason. Just do it. And sometimes I walk up to her if I see her busy or something, and I'm like, hey baby, how you doing? What you doing with your fine, sexy stuff over there? What you doing over there? And tell me you got no man, because I ain't trying to hear that. I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take you from him. And I'm gonna take him in the backyard and tell him, you gotta go. And then she'll look at me and just start laughing, like, really? Really? It's like, you crazy, you crazy. But come on now. After 20 years of being in a relationship, why not? Why not do these types of things? Because at the end of the day, you spare all of the crap that you would have gone through. You know what I'm saying? If somebody else was paying her these compliments that you should have been paying her in the first place, you spare all of the crap. Now, ladies, understand something. I'm speaking on the men, but again, as I stated in the beginning, it can go both ways. It could be the man having these issues, it could be the woman having these issues. But either way it goes, as long as these issues get described, get understood, and two points of views come together and create a massive explosion of understanding, that's what counts. That's what counts. What counts is what you get out of it at the end of the day. So let us not be fools and throw our lives away and throw away a good opportunity to have a good relationship. Let us not do these things. I give you another example. There's a guy who, him and his lady, they together, to this day, they're together. And she stated clearly, I did not like him. He was not my type. I did not want to be with him. None of that. It's like, because the type of guys that I like was this, that, and the third. She described him to a T, how she felt like, about the guys and things of that nature, right? But guess what? All because she stepped out of her element, stepped out of the norm. She actually found true love, or allowed true love to find her. It worked. It worked. And sometimes we gotta step away from what we think we want just because you're attracted to it. You think you want that. But you can be as attracted to things as you want to be. But if the laws of nature, if the laws of attraction state something different, you can argue as much as you want to. But you have two choices: accept it, reject it. And 9 times out of 10, when you reject it, it takes a long time before you get that back. And I mean a long time before you get that back. So pick and choose your battles, that's something that's understood. I mean, I understand when people say pick and choose your battles, but don't pick yourself out of that long term if that's what you're looking for. Don't pick yourself out of a good thing if that's what you're looking for. Don't pick yourself away from something that you've been wanting for a long time. Don't pick yourself out of it, because we can be too picky about things and never find happiness. Never find happiness. And why should you do that to yourself? Because if you think you're giving yourself a treat, think again. Because the lack of happiness can never be a treat to someone who's looking for happiness, especially when you're looking for it to be long term. That'll never be a treat. Take it for what it is. Take it for what it needs to be. So another thing that I want to touch bases on too, all these things that I talked about are also the things that are the types of messages that you will see and read about once you read my new book called Redeem Love. I would suggest, I would advise, I would ask that everybody go out and get this book. Pay attention to the messages that are in the book. So far, so good. A lot of people actually like my book. They like what it's about. They've read the messages. They understand the messages. But at the end of the day, you have to do the same thing. And if you, as an individual, can read these messages and understand what I was trying to convey to my people, to the audience, The only thing I can say for you is that I applaud you. I'm happy. And I know that this is a game changer. This is a game changer. Because all of the radio stations that I've been on, that I've done my interviews and things of that nature, a lot of people know me for one thing, and that's about love. Love is something that I take serious. And if you don't understand some things that's in the book, the messages that are in my book, please feel free. Inbox me on any of my social medias. Shoot me a message. You see my email addresses on there and everything. Go to my website. Throw a blog in there. My website is yellowtheport.com. YEHLOE. Yellowtheport.com. Check me out. See what's going on. Talk to me. Ask me questions. I don't mind. Either way, just understand that right now, my ratings just hit over 100,000. So understand, it's not that I'm ignoring you. I will get to you. It's going to take some time, but I will get to you. This is all that your boy going to have for today. And I will answer any questions that anybody has. I appreciate all who have stopped by. I appreciate the like, subscribe, check your boy out on the other videos. I got so much stuff coming up. I just want to jump for joy right now because I'm extremely happy about all that's been happening in my life. So, all of my people, nothing but love for you all. I appreciate you. Your boy's out of here. Peace and blessings, everybody. Thank you all who did stop by. I definitely appreciate you. You all have definitely sealed the deal with my heart, and you have my blessings. Many blessings from your boy YTP. Peace.